Discuss about admixtures of concrete. Retarders. Retarders are added to the concrete to slow down the hydration of the cement, to delay or prolong the setting of the cement in the concrete. Retarders keep the concrete plastic and workable for the longer time. For example, your production of the concrete is far away from your existing site, and it is not possible to reach the concrete from the production to your existing site within the 30 minutes, because the normal setting time of the concrete is 30 minutes, but it is not possible to transportation of the concrete. In that case, you have to use the retarders. I am giving you example, RMC, ready mix concrete. This is the one of the best example of the retarders they are using in their concrete mass to reduce the setting time by 2 to 4 hours. Remember that our normal setting time is 30 minutes, but 30 minutes to 2 to 4 hours can be possible with using of the retarders. And the water content required, I mean, by the 5 to 10 percentage. It's depending on the type of the retarders. If we talk about the retarders, uh, commonly we are using like calcium sulfates, which is also known as a gypsum. Remember the production of the cement mass. We are using the 2 to 3 percentage of the gypsum in the production of cement mass. Next one is a stretchers, and next one is a sugar. You can also retards the setting time of the concrete with using of the sugars and cellulose products like the acid and salts of the acids like lingo sulfonic acid, hydroxylated carboxylic acid. So these are the retarders we are using in concrete mass. uh, Purpose of the using or uses of the retarders are to overcome the accelerating effect of high temperature on the setting property of the concrete in the hot weather concreting. For example, you are doing the concreting in the hot weather condition, and possible, and there will be possibility that there will be increasing the high heat of the uh, hydration, and this will the adverse effect to your concrete mass, and you can solve out this issue with the using of the retarders. You can delay the setting time of the cement for the required the transportation of the concrete mass. And next point is, when the concrete is required to be transportation for the long time, it can be possible. So these are the purposes of the retarders. Next one is the plasticizer, water reducing admixtures like calcium, sodium, and the ammonium. Lingosulfonates are the most commonly used of plasticizer, and these are the water. These are also known as a water reducing admixture, and you can get the uh, benefit of the workability of the concrete mass, and they are used in amount of 0.1 to 0.4 percentage by the weight of the cement, which is dependent on the brand of the admixtures, brand of the plasticizers. At the doses of the the workability of the reduction in the mixing water is expressed to be the order of 5 to 15 percentage, but it's depending on the type of concrete mass. And the action of the plasticizer is to fluidity the mix, to improve the workability of mix. So you can get the higher workability with using of the concrete mix. Super plasticizer, this is also known as a high water reducing agent, because with this super plasticizer you can decrease the up to 30% of the water mass with using of the super plasticizer. If we talk about the history of the super plasticizer, the Japan was the first country to develop the super plasticizer in 1960 and the subsequently Germany in 1970. And the use of the super plasticizer permits the reduction of the water to extend the up to 30% without reduction of the workability of the mix. And you can get the higher workability compared to the plasticizer. For example, if you are making the self-compacting concrete, so in that case, without super plasticizer, it is not possible to flowable concrete. Next one is they are the also high range water reducer because you are reducing up to 30% of the water mass compared to the normal, and they are chemically different from the normal plasticizer, and they are the more powerful dispersing agents because you can get the changes of the property, like you can also change the flowability of the concrete mass with using of the super plasticizer. It can be possible only with the super plasticizer. The advantages of the super plasticizer, you can get the very high workability. For example, self compacting concrete, high performance concrete, and you can get the high workability with using of the super plasticizer. For the same workability, it has made the possible with low water cement ratio 0.22 to obtain the strength of up to 100 megapascal. You can understand that with low water cement ratio and you are getting the 100 Newton per mm square. This is the possible only that with using of the super plasticizer. And with low water cement ratio, it's also permit the reduction of the cement content, and it means that you are getting the economic construction. And the use of the plasticizer has made it possible to use of the fly ash, slag, silica fume, and make the high performance concrete. But it is possible that the use of this pozzolanic material with using of the super plasticizer. And the super plasticizer produce the homogeneous cohesive concrete without any tendency for the segregation and the bleeding. For example, you are changing the property of the concrete mass, but in that case you are facing the chemical reaction. But if you are adding the calculative doses, so you are not facing any reaction of this super plasticizer. Pozzolanic admixtures. Uh, this admixture with this equation, the pozzolana is generally possessing the silicaceous and aluminous properties and which itself no cementitious property, but in the finely divided form and the presence of the water react with calcium hydroxide and liberates liberated in the hydration process and form CSH gel, and with this process the CSH gel is formed, and we can get the pozzolanic admixtures. So there are the mainly two type of the admixture pozzolana material. There are the two type of the pozzolana material. First one is the natural pozzolana and second one is the artificial pozzolana. What is natural pozzolana? Like clay, shell, volcanic stuff. And if we talk about the artificial pozzolana, like fly ash, surkey, blast furnace slag, silica fume, rice husk ash, metakaolin. So these are the artificial pozzolana. Uh, for example, you are adding the more doses of the admixture in the concrete mass, so there will be effect of shrinkage and the creep property of the concrete. So this is the adverse effect of the excess dosage of the concrete, excess dosage of the admixtures. And you are also facing the problem like segregations and premature stiffening under the certain condition with using of the excess dosage of the admixtures. And you can also get the problem, you can also facing the problem like the loss of workability. For example, you are getting the more workability with calculative doses, but if you are adding the more doses of the uh, admixture you are adding in your concrete mass, so there will be losing of the workability. Clear? So you have to add the calculative dosage of the admixture in your concrete mass. The addition of the excess amount of the gypsum may cause the undesirable expansion and the indefinite delay in your setting of the concrete. So this is the adverse effect you are facing, the excess dosage of the concrete, excess dosage of the admixture in your concrete mass. And you are also facing regarding the heat of the hydration. So if you are adding the high dosage of the admixture, you can uh, you can get the problem the more heat evolution, and there are the chances of the cracking in the concrete mass. So these are the adverse effect of the excess use of the admixtures. So in the any concrete mass, you have to find out the particular dosage of the any uh, admixtures like plasticizer, super plasticizer, pozzolanic admixture, waterproofing admixture. This is the trial and base method. You have to find out the particular doses, then you can get the requirement of the property of the concrete mass. For example, we want the self-compacting concrete, but there is a different doses of the different brand, but in your particular area there may be changes of the doses of the particular super plasticizer. So in that case you have to find out the particular doses in your existing site for your existing material, for your existing brand, for your particular super plasticizer or plasticizer you are using for the concrete mass. So you have to do the trial and error method, and then you can get the particular doses of the admixtures like super plasticizer, plasticizer, pozzolanic admixtures. So you have to finalize these doses with base trial and base method, trial base method. So thank you.